So, I want you to just imagine for a second that you hired this world-renowned nutritionist, right?
Okay, yeah. Setting the scene.
Yeah. And you've been waiting, I mean, months for this appointment. You finally walk into their super pristine, brightly lit office. You sit down in this incredibly expensive leather chair, and you just look at them and say, "Tell me what to eat."
Right. The million-dollar question.
Exactly. And they look at you and they hand you a single piece of printer paper, just one sheet. And it has exactly one sentence typed on it.
Oh my gosh.
And then they just stare at you in complete silence for the next, 20 minutes.
That would be incredibly uncomfortable. I mean, you would probably assume you were being pranked or something.
Oh, totally.
Because we are just so conditioned, to expect the massive 30-page PDF with bar graphs and meal timing charts and a list of super expensive supplements.
Exactly. You would demand your money back right then and there. Because, well, if you've ever tried to figure out what to eat just to feel healthy, you know it feels like standing in the middle of a screaming match.
It really does. It's so loud out there.
One article tells you, carbs are the ultimate enemy. The next one tells you, actually, no, fats are the villain.
It is exhausting. Just completely exhausting.
It is. And usually when we talk about nutritional science on this deep dive, there's this expectation of extreme complexity. But today, we are looking at a source document that does exactly what that hypothetical nutritionist just did.
It just hands us a single sentence.
Right. We are looking at a literal file titled natural_foods_for_women's_weight_loss_podcast_script.docs.
It's like a wild title.
It is. And if you, listening to this right now, are someone who just absolutely hates information overload, you are going to deeply appreciate what we're doing today. Because our mission today is to cut through all of that modern diet culture noise by examining a source that completely, and I mean completely, abandons confusing jargon.
It is entirely stripped down. There are no competing theories presented at all. There is no hedging language either. Results may vary or whatever. There are no asterisks. No footnotes, no citations. It's just a raw assertion.
None. Zero. Okay, let's unpack this, because before we can even really talk about the nutritional advice itself, we really have to address the physical reality of this source document.
Yeah, the format is...
It's bizarre. When you open this file, you do not see paragraphs of explanation. You don't see an intro, a body, and a conclusion.
Right.
You see one sentence. And that single sentence is repeated exactly, word for word, 76 times.
76 times. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And not a single variation in punctuation either. No changing of the syntax to make it flow better.
Yeah.
Just a relentless, unbroken wall of the exact same phrasing over and over and over again.
Let me just read it, just so we're all completely grounded in what we're actually dealing with here.
Go for it.
So the sentence is, quote, whole foods like vegetables, fruits, legumes, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats support healthy weight management for women, period.
And that's it.
That's it. And then it just starts over. Whole foods like vegetables. On and on, down the page, 76 times.
Yeah.
Now, I have to be honest with you. Let's just be real here for a second. When I first saw this, my immediate thought wasn't, oh, wow, what a profound meditative approach to eating.
Right. No one thinks that at first.
My thought was, did the author literally fall asleep on their keyboard? Is this a copy-paste error?
A glitch in the matrix.
Yes. Because I'm struggling to see this as a deliberate stroke of genius, rather than just a glitch or maybe just a severe lack of actual information to share.
Well, I mean, that is a completely fair reaction. And honestly, whether it was a technical glitch or placeholder text or a completely deliberate choice, the actual effect it has on the reader is what makes it so fascinating to analyze.
Okay. Yeah, the effect.
Right. Think about the psychological forcing function of that repetition.
The forcing function.
Because if an author just lacks information, you usually just get a blank page or maybe one brief paragraph that quickly trails off into nothing.
True. They just run out of steam.
Exactly. But encountering something repeated 76 times, that forces a very specific reaction from you as a reader.
Oh, absolutely.
By stripping away all the other noise, all the data, the competing theories, that document acts almost like a rhetorical mirror. It forces absolute focus on this one single thesis.
It definitely forces focus. Because when I was reading it, I kept thinking of a strict coach making a player write lines on a chalkboard.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Right. I will not throw the baseball in the house. You just write it until your hand physically cramps.
Yeah.
But it's so frustrating because you keep looking for the next piece of information and the document just completely refuses to give it to you.
And that frustration is exactly the point, I think. We are so used to convoluted diet advice that a single plain sentence actually shocks our system.
We're looking for the catch.
Always looking for the catch. When you read the sentence the first time, your brain just says, okay, basic nutritional advice, moving on, what's next?
Yeah, give me the science.
Right. And then when you read it the 10th time, your brain starts getting annoyed, searching for the loophole.
Uh-huh.
But by the 40th time, your brain just kind of has to surrender to the rhythm of it. It highlights the absurdity of modern diet culture, really.
Yeah.
We are here practically begging for a complex chemical breakdown, and the text is just saying, stop looking for the secret. This is the foundation. Do not look away from it.
Wow, yeah. It really is overriding that bad habit we all have of overthinking.
Completely.
It's like the document is stubbornly saying, I am not going to give you paragraph 2 until you prove to me you have fully internalized paragraph 1.
Exactly.
And since we are culturally so bad at internalizing paragraph 1, it just gives it to us 76 times in a row.
Well, and in a world of infinite scrolling, right?
Yeah.
Where we expect a completely novel piece of highly stimulating content every, 3 seconds?
Basically, yeah.
Scrolling through a document of identical text is a massive pattern interrupt. It anchors you. It suggests that true simplicity isn't ignorance. It's just a refusal to engage with unnecessary complications.
Okay, so we are anchored. We have stared at the chalkboard. We have pushed past that initial feeling that our computer screen is glitching out.
Right.
Now that we understand how this document is communicating to us, we need to look at exactly what is inside this fiercely repeated sentence.
The actual content.
Yes, the content. Because here's where it gets really interesting. The sentence is not vague.
No, not at all.
It doesn't just say, eat healthy or eat natural things. It explicitly defines its whole foods framework with 6 exact categories.
The 6 pillars.
Let me read them again so we have them. Vegetables, fruits, legumes, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats.
Right.
Now, if you are listening to this, you already know vegetables and healthy fats are good for you.
Yeah.
You do not need us to sit here and explain what a legume is.
No, you've heard this before.
But what is fascinating here isn't the underlying nutritional science, it's the textual presentation of it.
What's fascinating here is that if we look closely at the grammar and the structure of the sentence, it presents a perfectly unified egalitarian list.
Egalitarian, yeah.
Notice what is missing from it. There are no adjectives elevating one category above another.
Oh, interesting.
It doesn't say, mostly vegetables and a little tiny bit of whole grains. It doesn't refer to any of these as magical superfoods.
It just lists them?
It simply lists them side by side, joined by a single "and" at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Vegetables, fruits, legumes, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats.
Right. To me, it feels like an ensemble cast in a movie, or maybe like a 6-piece band.
Oh, a band is a good way to look at it.
Yeah, because it's not flashy. Maybe one instrument doesn't stand out on its own, but you need all 6 to make the music work. If you try to play the song with just one instrument, like, say, going on a diet where you only eat lean protein.
Just the drummer playing solo.
Exactly. The whole thing eventually sounds terrible. It caves in. So looking at this text, it groups all 6 of these together in every single sentence, 76 times.
Every single time.
But I do have to push back here a little bit. Why list all 6 every single time?
What do you mean?
Well, why not establish the 6 categories in sentence 1 and then just refer to them as these foods for the rest of the document? Does the constant unbroken grouping imply that isolating just one breaks the specific formula they're presenting?
Yes, I think that is a really critical textual observation. By refusing to use shorthand, by refusing to ever say these foods or this list, the text cements the idea that they are completely inseparable.
Inseparable.
Right. Because if you remove the legumes or if you strip out the healthy fats because some magazine article made you afraid of the word fat, you are no longer following the formula on the page.
You're doing something else entirely.
Exactly. You have altered the foundation. The text simply does not give you permission to cherry pick.
I really love that point about there being no hierarchy. Because, if you scroll through social media for 5 minutes right now, you will see an absolute war between macronutrients.
Oh, it's a battleground.
It is. Someone is demonizing carbs, which means they are actively attacking fruits and whole grains and legumes, and then someone else is over there demonizing fats.
Always.
But this document just flattens all of that drama completely. It puts an apple, a bowl of lentils, a piece of grilled chicken, and an avocado on the exact same level. They are all just whole foods.
And it does so without a single word of apology or explanation either.
Yeah, no defending itself.
Right. It doesn't pause to defend whole grains from their modern critics. It simply asserts their place at the foundation. And this is why the repetition is so vital to the whole message.
How so?
Well, if it only listed the 6 categories once, you might think, oh, that is just a general suggestion. I can swap things out or skip one.
Sure, like a loose guideline.
Exactly. But when it is repeated 76 times, it becomes rigid. You literally cannot remove one of the pillars without compromising the entire structure of the sentence.
It's a complete package, which is just so countercultural right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we are absolutely obsessed with optimization. We want to find the one magical ingredient that will fix everything. We want the one pill, the one hack, the one superfood powder you mix into water.
Everybody wants the shortcut.
And this source is just relentlessly pounding the drum that the hack, if there is one, is actually just the mundane reality of these 6 things working together.
Working in harmony.
Right. But honestly, why do you think we resist that so much? Like, why is a plain list of 6 foods so hard for people to just accept?
I think often it's because managing a balance of 6 categories feels far less dramatic and therefore less effective than adopting some extreme restrictive stance.
Oh, that makes sense. Extreme restriction feels like you're actually doing something.
Exactly. It feels like taking massive action. Whereas eating a balanced ratio of legumes and whole grains just feels like, well, eating lunch.
Yeah.
We have been conditioned to believe that if a nutritional approach doesn't require immense willpower or complex calculations, it must not be working.
Which brings us perfectly to the ultimate goal of all of this. We have the format, right? The bizarre, unyielding repetition.
Yep.
And we have the 6 pillars, the egalitarian list of whole foods. But what is the actual point? Where is this all leading? Let's look at the title of the document again.
Okay, let's look at it.
It is called Natural _ Foods _ for _ Women's _ Loss _ Podcast _ Script _docs.
So the title explicitly states weight loss.
Yes, the title is very clear about setting up that specific objective for the reader right from the jump.
But, and this is a massive, but here, when you read the actual sentence, the one that is repeated 76 times, the word loss is completely gone.
It just vanishes. It vanishes. The text says, these 6 pillars support healthy weight management for women.
Management, not loss.
Right. Why title it loss, but script it as management? To me, at first glance, that feels like a bait and switch.
It does feel like that.
But maybe it's a necessary one. It's exactly like managing a household budget versus indiscriminately slashing costs.
Well, I like that comparison.
Right. If you just slash costs across the board to save money really fast, you are going to be completely miserable. You'll sit in the dark, you'll eat instant ramen, and eventually the restriction will just break you.
And you'll rebound.
Exactly. You will binge spend on a vacation you can't afford. But if you manage a budget, allocating funds for rent, groceries, and a little entertainment, you can sustain that for a lifetime.
That budget analogy is spot on, because if we connect this to the bigger picture, this wording shift from the title to the body is arguably the most profound point the document makes.
You think so?
I do. Think about the psychological state of the person searching for this file. They are likely typing the words weight loss into a search engine.
Yeah, they have a specific goal.
Right. They are looking for an intervention. They are looking for that extreme action of slashing costs, like you said.
Right. They want the quick fix. They want the scale to go down tomorrow morning. They're probably in a state of panic.
Precisely.
I see.
And the title meets the reader exactly where they are. It acknowledges their initial search criteria.
It gets them in the door.
Yes. But the text itself, the actual mantra that it forces them to read over and over again, it recalibrates their expectation entirely.
Oh, wow.
It tells them that the actual reality of consuming these 6 whole foods is not an aggressive temporary state of loss. It is long-term, sustainable, healthy weight management. It replaces a finite, often frantic goal with an infinite, balanced lifestyle.
So what does this all mean for the reader, really? It means the document is essentially tricking you into sustainability.
Basically, yes.
You show up for the dramatic, flashy weight loss, and the document locks the door behind you, hands you a spreadsheet, and says, no, actually, we are going to learn how to manage a budget today.
Exactly.
And it says it 76 times until you stop fighting it and just accept the reality.
It is a masterful reframing of the core concept, because the word loss inherently implies deprivation.
Right, losing something.
It implies an endpoint. Think
Yeah.
about it. What happens when you finally lose the weight? Do you stop the behavior that got you there? Do you go back to your old habits?
Usually.
Because loss is a temporary state. But the word management implies an ongoing, continuous relationship. It implies stewardship over your own body. You are managing your health through the consistent daily application of these 6 pillars.
That is so incredibly powerful. Loss is a one-time transaction, but management is a lifelong relationship.
Exactly.
And speaking of a specific relationship, we absolutely cannot ignore the final 2 words of the sentence.
Right, we have to talk about that.
It doesn't just say healthy weight management. It says healthy weight management for women.
Yes. The targeting here is completely unequivocal. It is a very, very deliberate textual inclusion.
But I have to ask you, why do you think it is so explicit about that while simultaneously offering 0 explanation?
What do you mean?
Well, it doesn't say for people or for humans. It specifically frames this entire 6-pillar formula for women, yet it doesn't give us the why. There is no mention of biology. There's no mention of metabolic mechanisms.
Right, no science lesson.
No explanation of why this specific balance of foods works for female physiology at all. It just asserts it.
And that is the ultimate confidence of this text. By explicitly appending 4 women to the end of every single sentence, but refusing to provide a science lecture to back it up, the text is demanding trust.
Trust, yeah.
It is declaring that this is a specific formula tailored to a specific audience, and it simply does not feel the need to justify itself with complex jargon.
It is almost validating in its bluntness.
It is.
It's saying, we see that your needs might be different from the generic advice out there, so we are giving you a specific formula just for you. And by leaving out the whole medical textbook explanation, it removes the burden of translation from the reader.
Exactly.
You don't need to understand the cellular mechanics to reap the benefit.
Right. The reader does not need to understand the complex interplay of human biology that makes healthy fats and legumes vital. They only need to execute the formula.
Just do the thing.
Just do it. And the relentless repetition of that formula builds that trust over time. It is a steady, unshakable drumbeat of consistency.
A steady drumbeat. I love that. Because if you think about what it actually feels like to be caught in the noise of modern dieting, it feels like chaos.
Utter chaos.
It feels like a dozen different songs playing all at once, totally out of rhythm, and everyone is yelling at you to listen to their specific tune.
Buy my supplement, try my fasting window.
Right. And this document just comes in, unplugs all the speakers, and just starts banging one single resonant drum. Bam, bam, bam. 76 times, Whole Foods, 6 specific categories, management, not loss, for women.
It demands that you strip away all the excess. You do not need another tracking app on your phone. You do not need another highly restrictive phase in your life. You just need the baseline.
You just need the baseline. So what do we take away from all of this?
Yeah, what's the bottom line?
If you are listening to this and you ever find yourself standing in the grocery store aisle feeling this wave of panic because you cannot remember if today is supposed to be a low-carb day or a high-fat day.
Or if you read an article that made you completely terrified of eating a simple apple.
Right. Just take a breath. Remember the radical, almost stubborn plainness of this document. You can always return to this source's unshakable drumbeat.
There really is no trick.
There's no trick. There is no secret loophole that you're missing. There are just 6 specific categories of whole foods: vegetables, fruits, legumes, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats. And when combined, they support healthy weight management for women.
It is a remarkable testament, honestly, to the power of focusing on what is truly essential and resolutely ignoring everything else that tries to distract you.
It really is. It shifts the power right back to you. You are not at the mercy of the latest trend. You have the foundational blueprint.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it does leave me with one final kind of unsettling thought, and I want you listening right now to really mull this over on your own.
Okay.
If this specific combination of whole foods so clearly, so unequivocally supports healthy weight management, as this document fiercely insists 76 times over, what external forces or systemic food industry practices are actively fighting against it?
Oh, that's a big question.
Right. If the truth is really this boring, this foundational, and this simple, who profits from making sure we stay constantly confused?
Wow. Yeah, who benefits from the noise?
Keep that in mind next time you feel overwhelmed by it all.